Welcome to a new test and teardown video. This time it's a compact oscilloscope called C1-94, made in USSR. It is from 1985 and it is really tiny. Look at that. It's about 18 centimeters high and 10 centimeters wide. So it's really nice and compact. And there is a really fun story about this oscilloscope. Back in the 80s, there was a Danish company that was doing business with a Russian company, and they couldn't exchange money. So the Russian company sent oscilloscopes one way, and the Danish company sent non-electronic goods the other way, and this was the way they did their trade. I would really love to get a lot more information about this deal and exactly how this was set up. But the thing is, back in the 80s and 90s, the market here in Denmark was flooded with exactly this model. And this is, you can also see this is the export model due to all the text here is in English. Also, I did a little bit of investigation in one of the local technical Facebook groups where a guy called Bo made a really good discovery and a lot of good text, and I will put it in here. This is the text that he sent to us with full information about all this, the scope and details. And I will, of course, translate the full message into English for you. And then you can just hit pause and read this text for full background information about this oscilloscope. So here at the back, we can see that they extended the case to handle the back of the CRT, because that is of course longer. I can see here the socket for the CRT. There's a fuse and there is a loose screw. So this is just a grounding. See, there's a little grounding symbol there. So this is just a chassis grounding, and it's made like this. So you can, I guess this is to wind the cable. And there's a little expansion here, and serial number and 1985. Oh, we also got information about the 32 VA, so that will definitely come handy when I try to power this up. Oh, there was one more funny thing. Look at the mains connector. Maybe this is original, because the cable is mounted like that, and it has to be the original cable as well. And the reason I know this is, hang on, I will show you. Here at the bottom, we see two screws. And they even have a little seal. There's a little seal stamp in the, I think this is because this is how you open this unit. Maybe it's a warranty claim or something like that. But I mean, this probably reveals that nobody was ever inside this oscilloscope. So that is a good sign. We can see we got a few access holes here on, this is the left side, and on the top, see, there's another little screw. I don't think, no, there's nothing on the right side. But that is, so far, the outside look and feel of this tiny little oscilloscope. So I think this is the way to get into this unit, by removing the feet, and then there's a little plate like that, and then you just kind of pull these, but then they will be bent to some degree, so I am not super happy about that, but that is probably how it's supposed to be done. It is really nice. I'm a little bit surprised how nice it really is. Of course, it's full of special components. This is one of the really cool things about finding these Russian products, because they were completely isolated, so they had to invent everything themselves, and that is why everything looks a little bit special. See, this little dot here is a little, see, oops, a little solder blob that just waited to fall down and short circuit everything. So I'll see if I can get this one out. And this is the back side of the main board. So a rather interesting layout here. And there's a little plastic part here that prevents the side panel to be pushed in, because it is a little bit of flimsy. And the plastic cover, it looks like it's just, yeah, I'll see if I can carefully take that one out. Yes, so we should definitely try and open. Ah, see? All the switches that go through the front. So it's maybe not super easy to pull out the board. And also we got potentiometers here, and they go, oh yeah, oh look at that, with big long shafts like that, all the way to the potentiometers here at the back. And that's of course focus and brightness. They are in the high voltage section, so that is quite all right. And here is another little, maybe this is the input amplifier or something. And again, using quite interesting transistors. We have no way at all to look any of these up. And the transformer is quite nice. They dip this into a thick layer of green epoxy or something like that. Oh, and we can see that will be access points for all the trimmers. And this is in the bottom. Ah, you're not supposed to, yeah, see, you're not supposed to access any of those trimmers here. A little high power transistor. Yeah, I really want to see if I can open this a little bit more so we can have a better look. So I was able to remove this little black high voltage protector. And then, of course, I removed all the screws here for this main board. And I realized that if you want to pull out the main board, you need to desolder, of course, all the wires, because everything is connected together with all those wires. So I don't think I really want to do that. That is just too much trouble. But I spent a lot of time looking in here, and it's really, really difficult to get light in there as well. But I can actually inspect all the capacitors and transistors and whatnot in here. And I don't find anything that is brown, blown up, or leaky or anything like that. And you can also, let's see if it's possible to get, yeah, look at that. Here you can see all the stuff in there. And this is there's a long cable, probably some deflection stuff going on. Yeah, but all this with the transistors and capacitors down there. Look at that. All nice and fine. So I don't think I really want to pull it more apart. We can probably guess quite well what we got here. I really hope it works so I don't need to pull it apart. Or if it don't work, then I am forced to pull it to pieces. So let's see what we wish for. Be careful what you wish for, we should probably say. So let's try and do the first power up together. I will dim the light so we can see if there's anything fantastic going on. So first I apply mains and nothing bad happens. What can we do? We can just put everything here in the middle like, I don't know. It is using 60, 40 watts. Okay. And then while we're waiting for Trick Auto, where is the, maybe we should just 27 watts. Oh, look, we got a beam. we got a beam. And here is the brightness. In full brightness, and focus is nice and fine. Wow, look at that! And then I kind of like this little switch here that changes between milliseconds and microseconds. See, now we're in the milliseconds, and then we'll have a little blinkety blink. Oh, we can even go this slow. Let's try and input something and see if there is any response. Yeah, so you have probably already seen this little DIN connector. I think I can see that we got 2 pins missing. So we only have metal in 1, 2, and 3. So that is, of course, easier for me to figure this out. Maybe there is some sort of information online about this DIN connector input, and why would you do that? I think it should be up to 10 megahertz or something like that, this oscilloscope, so it should be quite fast. Well, here's what I just figured out. If we measure 0 ohms on pin 2, so this is 1, it's not connected to anything, 1, 2, 3, and see? We're charging a capacitor here, so that is the input, and that will be ground. And here you go. This is a 1 kilohertz signal, and as far as I can see, this is 1 volt per division, and my input is 4 volts peak, so that is 2 volts positive and 2 volts negative, and it's drifting a little bit. I just turned this on. So if we look at this, it's not exactly right, is it? It's reading 3 divisions. Why are you doing that? Let's try something else. So it's still a 1 kilohertz signal, 1 millisecond per division. So that should be around here, right? I don't know if you can see the picture is doing like this. Ooh. I think this is hum. So it's probably maybe it's just because it's open, so it's probably magnetic. Maybe my transformers, they're way too close or something like that. But it's definitely this particular. Yeah, see, if I go faster, it goes completely away. So time base is also pretty good, and trigger is quite good. See, and it's running and then it's triggering. So that is not too bad. I think I will try and see if I can measure the bandwidth. So it is a lot more aggressive at the higher frequencies. So this is a 1 megahertz signal, and look at that. I even had to move this. My input is still 4 volts peak. So it's reading way too much at faster speeds. So let's play. This is 4 megahertz. So now I'm at full speed here. Oh, we have a little bit of distortion. 5, 6, 7. Here we go. 8, 9, 10. And I think that was the specifications. 11. Okay, let's just go all the way until 20. And you can even trick on 20. But definitely this is way too fast. And then that will be 30. But again, I didn't load this, and this is not. This is that's. Yeah, let's get back to 10. So far, so good. Yeah, maybe we should show this here in this. So this was 10 and 1. And now look at the amplitude. This is 1 megahertz. Then we go down in 100 kilohertz steps. See, this is 100 kilohertz. why is it doing this? So there's some sort of frequency dependent level that is not super good. And then we go down to 10 kilohertz. I mean, this is not so good. I didn't expect it to be that bad. And now it's actually measuring. Okay, we have a little. Maybe we are missing. That could definitely be. Look at that. And with this switch also a lot of capacitors and speed up this and that. Okay, maybe that is the thing. Oh, look at that. I forgot to poke with this. There is this capacitor right there. This is the high-speed capacitor. Ha ha! It is probably that simple. Oh, let me redo this and get back. So I realized all my problems comes only from the level switch. So I just added a lot of contact 61, and also the quality of this switch actually impressed me a little bit, because it is a really good design, and it looks exactly like all the European versions of this type of switch. So I don't know exactly who copied who, but this is exactly the same design on all little details. So I hope it's going to be better now with a little bit of cleaning and massage. I definitely have repaired the unit. Look at also at the amplitude. This is 100 kilohertz. I would say this will be 4 divisions, and I'm still running the 4 volts per division. The position here is drifting a little bit, and also it's drifting per. See? Why would it do that? So there's probably some DC or some kind of funky things. Maybe this has no. But I definitely have completely perfect stable behavior. So that was let's just do this real fast, 1 megahertz, and then click click click. Hello. Yeah, that trigger. So here is this is the same. This little funny. So that was 1 megahertz. That's 10 megahertz, and then it goes down a little bit, and then 10 megahertz is the full. But this is should be quite normal, and I'm happy about that. So I think that's all I can show about this oscilloscope, because I don't want to pull it apart, because it's just really not service friendly for doing that. So thank you very much for watching so far. Bye bye.